It says that it's recording.
Oh, look at that. It does. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Three Nerds on a Sunday, where three nerdy friends talk about all things nerd, geek, and pop culture related. I am one third of the nerd, Sonny, and the man behind Frank over there. He's a peeping Tom.
That's
If
Manny,
you're
I think.
you, that's Manny too.
Stuck in another universe. In a multiverse. He's like, what you guys talking about, huh?
I hear time travel, anyone?
I don't know.
I'm Sonny. That's Frank.
Yes.
Due to scheduling, we might be down one nerd today. Manny might pop on a little bit later, but but like they say, the show must go on.
Yes.
So, no news today, or
Nope.
and nothing that I think that was worth bringing up. Besides the sad tragedy that happened
Mm-hmm.
over the weekend, but let's not focus on
Yeah.
that. If anything, let me let me give me 1 second here. Let me see if I can find her name. We can at least say her name because she
Yeah.
deserves that.
Yeah, definitely.
But
Is she a stunt person
how's your
or
week
what?
so
What
far?
was her role in there?
She was I don't know if she's a DP or she worked with the cameras, but
Oh my
I
God.
think she was secondary director or something like that.
Wow. I mean, I didn't know that they brought actual bullets to the set.
I didn't really read too much on what was going
I didn't
on.
either.
uh,
I have no idea what I'm talking about, so I'm just not going
it,
to. But I was curious about that fact.
oh right, yeah.
I mean,
I mean, usually, but I mean, squibs are still using the actual black powder for the actual
mm,
thing. So, if
it could
something's
still hurt you.
wrong or it's not packed in right, technically it can still work the way it's supposed to.
Wow,
Um,
that's crazy.
my internet is being slow.
Yeah. Do you want me to look it up?
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead, look it up for me. My internet's acting a little funky right now.
Um, so I'm trying to
Good air,
find
good air.
information, and it happened to Helena Hutchins is her name.
That's her name.
Yeah.
Then we just want to take a second and say thank you for your work. It's
Yeah.
tragedy. We do, and we don't want to sound insincere, but to you, your family and friends and everyone, our
R.I.P. Sure.
condolences and um, your work will live on forever in history because of the film industry. So thank you for everything.
R.I.P.
With that being said, let's go ahead and move into our nerd outs of the week. Um, I'll let you go first, Frank. You can grace us with your offering.
Okay. I'm pulling up my notes real quick. I signed up for AMC Plus, which was
Okay.
a free trial for a week. I'm gonna definitely cancel it. uh,
Okay.
I was bored and I just wanted. I don't know if it was anything specific. I think I saw a Facebook ad that said something about new Creepshow episodes. Or no. Actually, I wanted to watch
Oh, okay.
Shudder, but then I realized that I didn't have a subscription anymore. And then I found out that AMC
Mm,
Plus includes Shudder, so I was like, all right, let me do a trial. So it was like a way to watch
mm.
Shudder stuff. Um, and yeah, so I watched Creepshow. I really was not enjoying it at all. Like
No.
I like I already knew what tone it was gonna bring. Like I'm okay with that, not complaining about that, but I
Yeah.
just wasn't enjoying it and what I was watching. So I just kind of noped out of it. And I started watching History of Horror instead, which was
Right.
very
Yeah.
interesting actually. I really enjoyed that. That was pretty cool. They really go deep on a lot of stuff, and I didn't. They probably half the stuff they say I didn't know before. So that's always good when you watch some of these kind of documentary style things where they're trying to tell you why something is cool or what this backstory is, and it can get boring because you've heard it all before. So I thought History of Horror was pretty cool the way they did it. I think I was watching the Halloween stuff. Oh no, actually, I'm getting it confused. I was watching the Netflix movies that made us, where they talked about Halloween. And with History of Horror, it's more topic based, where it's not really franchise or movie based. It's more like sequels that don't suck, or certain type of monsters or stuff like that. So that was pretty cool. I mean, the service works well. I didn't have any issues at all with pausing or anything like that. It was loading perfectly fine, came in clear. So it seems like a decent service and everything. I'm done adding services. Really just done with that. So I'm not going to continue. But if you really love the content on there, or you want to try it for a month because you want some horror or whatever, it's definitely worth a shot.
Interesting. Yeah, everyone's got to have a service nowadays. It's just pain in the butt.
It's just, it's reverse cable. It's the days of cable basically back. Because, I mean, if you subscribe to, let's say, 10 channels, you're going to pay the same or more than cable.
It's
so that's what I did, because I just wanted horror stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I'll do a backdoor to Shudder through AMC Plus with a free trial. So I think it expires Monday, so I don't think I'm gonna be able to get to anything else before then. So I'll have to say bye-bye to the service. Yeah. But free trial. I mean, if you want like a week of stuff, you can go check it out. The other thing, really nerding out about toys lately. Action figures, toys, dolls, whatever you want to call them. People get offended when you call them dolls. I don't care. You can call them what you want. You can call it what the hell you want. Well, today was the Pulsecon event, or day 2 actually, and this is the day that you, me, and Manny really care about, which is Marvel and I think
Star Wars.
Star Wars and G.I. Joe. I don't think you guys care as much as I do about that. You probably have a few characters, right? Like
a few of them, and then like the bad guys stuff, like ninjas and all that kind of stuff is up my alley. So,
but we were never really into it growing up, right? Like, I mean,
I was really big into it.
Oh yeah. I don't remember the show.
When that. Yeah, I mean, like the show was fine, but I watched it was like early 2000, maybe like early 2000. It was like an animated movie that they made, and it only came in like a special 2-pack Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes figure in 12-inch form, and the only way to watch it was you had to buy that whole pack. And I was really into like G.I. Joe. I was like really into it, and I loved it. Because again, it's just badass soldiers fighting a bunch of.
Right? Yeah, that's what I love about it. Yeah, it's badass soldiers and stuff.
Yeah, so.
And as a little kid, what I'd like to do is I would make my own characters based on like the old G.I. Joe packages used to say like name, alias, country of origin about each character, and I would go make my own. like the cheesiness mixed with the badass like 80s action military stuff. That kind of stuff appeals to me. So this is like really cool for me because I never really was into it that big. I had the toys here and there as a kid, and I always knew Snake Eyes was cool, and like some of the other ones were cool, but I never really knew their names and how like wild and crazy some of it gets. Because with these figures, man, I'm like, what the hell? There's a dude with an alligator. There's a sniper, like tracker guy with an eagle.
Oh yeah.
There's a guy from the Outback.
Yeah.
And they're all so cool looking. They have plenty of gear and all that, and so it's kind of fun. I know I've been mixing stuff from other toy lines like Joy Toy Nex or like
Right.
like a random werewolf soldier guy or just like a dude with a motorcycle helmet, just whatever, you know. So
Yeah.
a lot of cool stuff was being announced, and yeah, it was pretty fun, pretty cool. The Marvel stuff, I don't know, man. Like, as excited as I am, and as much as I like those characters, I tend to skip like 8 out of 10 figures that they come out with.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I mean,
Like most of them are skips. I'm like, no, 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 cool, no,
Yeah.
you know, like they're nice
Uh,
and they're cool, but I just don't want them. Like I don't know why.
yeah. I'm definitely in that class where it's like I'll buy like a character I love. Like I had to have a Shocker.
The
I had to
beans.
have the Omega Red. Like like certain
Mhm.
characters I need no matter what. Yeah, there are a lot of characters I can skip. Like I
Mhm.
like I love Marvel and all, but like give me X-Men, some Spider-Man, and I'm pretty happy with that. Most of the stuff I can skip, which is good for me. Helps out a lot.
Oh yeah, it does.
And yeah, and like most of the BAM figures, build the figure. In case you didn't know,
Yeah,
a lot of them suck. They're not good.
not really. I bought that bear because
Yeah,
I really
like
wanted it, and I was pretty disappointed. I kind of sold it right away. I was like, I'm all right.
not, yeah, they're not that great. They're more for display purposes, which is fine if that's what you're
Yeah,
into. But I don't feel like $132 for
and I'm
like
left with
six
these
for like
garbage figures that I really
figures
don't
I don't.
want either.
Yeah,
Um, so
it's
yeah, I think there's a lot. You know, what I noticed is that my shelf is mainly heroes. I have almost no villains.
oh wow, that's
Like I don't know
funny.
why. I just don't really buy villains. I just don't. I don't know why. It's really weird. Even
That's
like Batman stuff, I have like almost no villains. I have
that's
Joker.
surprising.
I have like one Joker, two Jokers. I have Talon. And that's almost it. Like I really don't have villains that much.
That
And Marvel,
yeah, it's kind
like all Avengers, all X Men, but like almost no villains.
of,
I don't know what it is. It's really weird, but it helps too because it's like when more crap comes out, I'm like, no, no, no.
yeah. It's like
Looks cool, but
no.
no. Another
I don't.
cap? Nah, I have a cap.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, and there's a lot of repeats of characters, different forms,
yeah.
but the same shit.
Like eventually, yes, the technology comes to the point where it's like, wow, that's a nice upgrade. So yeah, okay, you got me.
Yeah.
But then they ride that upgrade for years, so it's like I'm good for like 3 4 years till they make something cool.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's
So
weird.
yeah, kind of going nuts with pre-orders and stuff, and yeah, the usual selling and trading. Oh, I found this
Yeah.
one place by me in Tinley Park called
Mm.
Closet Collectibles, and it showed up as a
Okay.
Facebook ad, and it was like opening this Saturday. I'm like, wait a minute, tomorrow's Saturday. And I'm like, wait a minute. It's like 5 minutes from where I drop the kids off for the activities. I'm like, oh my god, I'm going there. So I show up, and people are really nice. That was actually the first customer. It was kind of funny. They
Oh,
were like
really?
so and stuff, yeah, and they had like cookies and stuff. They had like a big dragon in there, and like they gave me a tour, and they were telling me about their other store, and they buy collections as well. So there was a guy bringing in a bunch of boxes. There was like some guy in the
Yeah.
parking lot going, "Hey Larry, I got a lot of stuff here." Some guy brought like a truck full of stuff,
Very.
a
That's
car
funny.
full of stuff, and so I was looking around, and they had a good assortment of stuff. They had Legends, they had DC, they had McFarlane, they had NECA, they had
Yeah.
like kids type of stuff like the LOLs, they had Pops, they had diecast cars, they had Pokemon cards, which actually I wanted to get into because of the girls. I want them to play. So and that's actually all I bought. It's just a pack of cards or a box
Mm.
to play. It's a
Nice.
25-year anniversary thing. So I was like telling the kids, I was like, these are the some of these cards are the ones that I got when I first bought my first packs and all that, so it's kind of fun. And what else did they have? They had like random loose stuff. Like I was looking at these random like old Spawn loose characters. There's this weird like monster dude with a giant weapon and stuff. So just randomness kind of in there. And the prices were pretty fair. I think some stuff was a little more than retail, but it is pretty rare. So I could see why they did that. But yeah, overall, a good spot. Closet Collectibles. They're on Facebook and everything. There's one in Crete, and then there's one in Tinley Park. Crete's kind of far. For me, it's like half an hour. So
yeah, it's a wee bit far.
It's probably an hour for you.
Oh, yeah. I have to make a day trip out of that one. I mean, it's not that. It's technically not that far, but for like one purpose where I might walk away with one thing, it's not really worth it.
Nah, I mean, you might as well eBay it, but if it's close to you, it's worth it because they're good people and it's a good spot. And you don't have a lot of those places. I would like more places like that where you can just find random collectibles and stuff.
Yeah.
Because I mean, your only choice is like these stupid giant department stores with nothing on the shelves.
Yeah. Sure you can.
Like so it's like really sucks. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's places around here that have that feel where it's more like the fun of like looking around and enjoying what and like finding something random you thought you would never get. You know, and then you got places like I don't want to name any places, but you know, places that are more like we sell only the new popular stuff or like, you know, stuff that's hot right now and all that kind of stuff, which is cool. They're looking for new stuff, but sometimes you just want to like find like like that old thing that you remember as a kid, like, oh shit, I found it here in the bin, you know, like it's a random hole in the wall, and it was just cool. I got it for like $5.
That's what I like. Yeah, they had some of that. Like I was saying, like random loose figures, or they're buying random collections from people, so they're gonna have randomness out there.
Yeah,
so it's a mix of new and old and random, so kind of fun like that. And he was saying the other one is like double, if not triple the size, so. This is their secondary store, and they just started, and you know they don't have as much as the other one, but still had a good amount.
Yeah, it's good. Shout out to those guys. Hopefully their second place works out well for them.
Yeah, for sure. That was it, man. That was really it for me.
That sounds good. Oh, I wanted to ask you a question. I was hanging out with our friend Gil. He's also probably our number one fan of this podcast. He had he had a question. Yeah, and I really couldn't answer the question because NECA is something that I don't buy often. The toy wise, I know you have a lot of NECA stuff, either Predator or Alien or kind of shape or form. And he was wondering, like, over time, do you find like the joints get stiff on those figures where to a point where you don't really you feel like they're gonna break if you move them, or you just kind of leave them where as is, or do you see any issues with the joints over time?
Yeah, they do get stiff actually. I mean, you can loosen them up with heat, so you can either use a blow dryer on the joint, and then it'll move around really freely and easily, and then or use hot water. Probably less messy though to use the hair dryer thing, but yeah, I do kind of notice that. Like if a lot of my stuff's in boxes, so if I ever want to take it out, it's a little bit tough, and the longer it stays, the stiffer it gets. It's not with every line, but yeah, I think NECA is one of the ones that kind of does that more.
Okay.
But I've never had anything break, and sometimes I've been too lazy to like heat it up, and I just bend it anyway. Sure. You hear like a little crack, not a crack, but more like knocking loose maybe, or like paint like breaking loose or something. And then it works fine, doesn't break. So I mean, yeah, it's a little bit annoying, but I never had anything break. I've had stuff
Okay.
put away for like 10 years and pick it up and it's fine. But yeah,
Okay.
stiff.
Yeah.
I'm like, they're kind of,
Well, hopefully they kind of yeah, hopefully they kind of answer this question because I think he said he had a lot of NECA stuff like from over the years that he leaves in the boxes,
yeah.
and he was like curious if he was to take them out, but they like just like
Oh,
fall
okay.
apart. Um,
No,
so
he might be more safe in the box because it's not getting exposed to stuff as much. So I think it has to do with maybe the paint that they're putting in the joints. I don't know because not everything does that, and it seems like NECA does it more. But if he's worried about that, just like I said, heat it up a little bit. It'll move easier. So
yeah. Some say the water technique is better. I find that the hair dryer is better for any of the toy collectors out there. Personally, in my opinion, I think it's better because it's more direct heat and it like because again like for me a lot of times it's not the whole figure, just like one specific part.
yeah,
It's like
like an
just the
elbow.
left arm or an elbow. So I don't want to put the whole figure in there, make it even looser when I need one part to be
Yeah,
loose.
that's
So
definitely true.
yeah,
And
so I find that
it could loosen something you didn't want to loosen, like maybe if there's a piece hanging off, like a helmet piece, and then
yeah.
you wet it, heat it, now it's flexible, and you accidentally like bend it in a way you don't want it to be.
Right.
Now it's stuck like that when it dries or
Yeah.
when it comes back up to temperature.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would use the heat
Yeah.
gun, hair dryer.
Yeah. I mean, you could use heat gun, but I think a blow
There
dryer is
was
your best option.
there was a time, yeah, where I didn't open anything I bought for at least 6 years, and I
Hmm.
built up
Oh
like a
wow.
stack of like 30 or 40 boxes, and then one day I just opened every single one. Like some kind of like crazy Christmas or something. And yeah, there was like this Arnold Schwarzenegger Predator guy. I opened him up. I don't remember anything stiff at that point, so
Mhm.
just try it, and
Okay.
if it is, then heat it up. And that's it. You'll be all good. It's not gonna fall apart.
Very cool.
And
Um,
party.
that's a little toy rant for the day again. We
From time to
like
time.
Frank said, yeah. Uh, today was one of those days. As soon as 4 o'clock hit, we just were like, it's toy time.
Yep. Like get this one, get this one, get this one.
Yeah, and and again, like you guys just maybe make more pre-orders, so spend more money later. But I got pretty much everything I was looking either through exclusive Hasbro or through Target or through Big Bad Toy Store. So I got
Yeah,
everything I wanted, which is nice. So,
me
and
too.
we got a second Venom, so that's even awesome. That's the whole purpose.
I think he's
Yeah,
still up too.
that's good because that means there's chances for someone else to grab them because they
Uh,
put a limit on one per person. Because if not,
my
someone will buy
God.
up 100 like in a second, but oh, all out of
People
stock.
buying 20 at a time and stuff.
Yeah, assholes. Um, but no, yeah.
You
So
know what though? The good thing about the pre-orders is you have a lot of time, so you might change your mind and you didn't lose a dime by doing
true.
that. So
Yeah,
it comes around, you're like, nah, I don't have the money, or I don't really care.
yeah,
Like the
because
hype will get you, but the more time they give you, the more time you come to your senses, and you're like, nah, it's okay.
yeah, yeah. That's helped me a lot. Where I'm like, I got so, I got so much crap in my pile. I'm like, I can get rid of like half of it, no problem, and because I don't care anymore. So,
Yeah, so it goes. Yeah.
um, I guess I'll lead into my nerd outs then.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah.
Sticking with the horror theme stuff, I'll start off with I'll start from the bad to the best, I guess, or not as good, I guess. I don't say bad. Um, I saw the Netflix, I believe it's Netflix exclusive, The Eighth Night. It's
Eat tonight.
a yeah, The Eighth Night. So
Mm.
like number eight, The
Yeah.
Eighth Night.
Okay.
It is a movie, I believe, that takes place in Japan, I believe. It's hard to tell because it's automatically dubbed. Um,
Oh, okay.
yeah, essentially the beginning, tells you the story of this red eye and this black eye, and they're both evil. If they come together, it will cause the end of the world, type of thing. One of those stories, and the movie overall is boring. Not boring. No, yeah, it's boring. I guess. Yeah, it's
Mhm.
very slow paced. I I I don't know if I don't know what it's trying to be because it's not a horror. There's no like good jump scares. There's no build up to any real scares. It's just like there's a dead body. It's dehydrated because the demon sucked out all the life out of it. But there's
Mhm.
no like scares. There's no anything like that. There's a mystery and a plot story between, a father and son, and it doesn't really go anywhere. It's just kind of there, and the movie has no idea what it's trying to be or what it wants to be. Um,
Oh, okay.
I mean, like stylistically, it is a good looking film. It's very well directed. They probably shot a lot on location, so whoever in charge of the scouting did a hell of a job.
Mm.
But at the end of the day, it's none of the characters are likable or memorable, except for maybe the young monk. But that's just because he's young and naive and never tasted ice cream in his life and has never
Mm.
like left the sanctuary of
Yeah.
the I was gonna say monkisms. I don't know why, but
Nah.
where he's studying to be a monk. And but past that, there's nothing. It's just a movie. Um,
That
this
sucks.
is yeah,
It happens too
and
often,
trailer,
honestly. It's like, damn,
yeah,
again.
yeah, like the trailer was promising. It looked like okay, maybe it'll be like a little cool, like psychological thriller, or maybe like a ghost possession movie, but it doesn't deliver on any end
Mhm.
at all. The writing is not that strong either, and the dub's not bad, but it's not great. It doesn't really match the tone of what's on the screen sometimes. Like where I
Yeah.
think like someone's supposed to be scared, they're like, ah, what are you doing? Don't do that. Oh no.
Mm.
Like, oh, kind of take me out of it
Oh,
too.
okay. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So,
I get you.
um, yeah, overall, man, this is a hard pass for me. Um, I really
Sucks.
can't say who would like it, to be honest. If you need something, if you need something on the background of your Halloween party or something where no one's watching, but you just want kind of like have something in the background that you can put this on, but that's really the best I can do.
Damn. Well, that's an
Yeah,
endorsement.
yeah. Yep. Um,
Yeah,
but
well, you win some, you lose some, I guess.
you win some, you lose a lot. So,
Yeah, you lose a lot, I would
um,
say.
but
Yeah.
you know, the next thing I watched, I got Shutter because I needed it for Halloween more specifically because I canceled it last month because I had a lot of bills coming in. I'm like, well, it's gonna take a back seat for a minute, but I'm back, baby. And um, I watched Channel Zero.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
I watched season one a while back, so I decided to watch season two. For those who don't know, Channel Zero was a sci-fi original series where it's a anthology in the vein of like American Horror Story. Each season was based on like a different story. Instead of folklore or made up story, they actually based every season loosely on a creepy pasta. So
Mm.
um, this season
Which one is
two
the Heath
is.
one? Is that the first or second?
I'm sorry.
Heath one, is that the first or second season?
Oh, um, Candle Cove is the first season. Have you ever heard of that one?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I watched it, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Season one is Candle Cove. Season two is No End House.
Mm.
Um, it's those two are really popular amongst the creepypastas. These stories came out when creepypastas were still like in season, I guess they were still like really good stuff to like hear.
Mm.
Um, I am very disappointed so far in this series. I've heard a lot of people praise this series, like, oh, this is like real horror for real horror fans and this and that. I'm like,
They're really raising that up, man, for
I'm
failure.
like, because
It's not bad though. I
it's
don't think
not,
it's bad.
no, it's not bad. It is well done. Like they actually they gave it. I won't say a huge budget, but they with what they had, they made it look really well, really nice.
Yeah.
Um,
I think
the
the
biggest,
stories are stretched though. Like there's not that much.
yeah, and that's the messed up thing is that it's only six episodes, but it feels like they're stretching out.
Yeah.
um,
It's like three too many.
yeah. Just kind of give a quick overview of season two. These group of friends one night decide to go to this mysterious thing that pops up all around the world at different times and locations called the No End House. And that if you walk into it, it's like a weird haunted house. And then if you make it to the final room, you disappear and no one ever sees you again. So it's
Mm.
like, are you brave enough to go through the house? Um, and then that's kind of where the creepypasta comes in, and then they put their own interpretation and spin on the story. Um, that's just general gist of it. But
Yeah.
the biggest problem I had with season one and season two is that it is, to me, it was very boring. Like the first three episodes, it's that type of acting where it's like they're like on melatonin all the time. It's very subdued. It's very like whisper talking. There's not
Mm.
much reaction. Like, what is that? Oh
That's
no.
like if I was on camera trying to act. Like,
I
wow, dude. Can you put some like freaking I don't even
something.
know emotion into this, please?
Like,
Like, oh, that was scary, dude.
yes.
Come on, let's get out of here. It would be so
And,
terrible. I'd be like, wow, this dude needs a shot of adrenaline or something.
Need some coffee, my God.
Yeah,
Um,
something. Too
and
chill. This guy's like his heart even beating or what?
yeah. And the characters, a lot of them aren't that memorable or even likable. Um, I,
Yeah. Hmm.
but I will say, episode four of season two is fantastic.
Mm.
Like this is like I think this is what people were talking about when they said it's a great horror show because episode four and even parts of five are intense and they're scary and the imagery is awesome and fantastic and some of that is littered throughout the first three episodes, but it's so sparse and in between we get uh these story bits to get to know the characters better, but the characters minus the main character are not that interesting. Um, but
Oh yeah.
episode four of season two, I think, was from beginning to end. It was perfect. Everything worked. It was creepy. It was great build up. It was awesome, and the place
Dude.
has so much potential. But it again
Yeah.
falls.
Dude. I like that bald guy actor.
Yes, he was fantastic.
He was good in it.
Um,
Yeah, he was good. I remember this now.
yeah, I don't want to give away too many details of like what characters and like what's really going on, all that kind of stuff. Because again, like it's a great idea, great concept, but it's just the execution of it is
Yeah.
too boring and too slow. It's way too
Yeah.
slow
Well,
paced for 6 episodes.
yeah.
It's insanely. Um,
I mean,
so
they could have done 2 episodes, 2 or 3,
oh
and then they
yeah,
could have
I
done more
think
stories, not just 4, 4 stories
yeah,
total.
yeah, because I mean like conceptually, the creepypasta story itself is only maybe 2, 3 episodes max. So they had to fill it out with, their own made up stories to kind of go with the house, which is a cool idea. But if you're not gonna make it interesting, don't even bother doing it, I guess.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
because it's a shame. Because again, like I see it and it has a lot of potential. But it's canceled, so I guess the whatever chance of potential was is gone.
Yeah.
But The ending was fine. It was kind of cool, but again, it limped across the finish line. Episode 4 and 5, I will praise as fantastic. They're the best episodes of the first two seasons by far. But then five it just it shoots itself in the foot, and it like limps away to the end. And um I'm shitting on it a lot, but I mean, it is fine. I think people did hype it up a lot to the point where like, oh yeah, like I don't know if they're trying to bring in fans to keep it going, or they were trying to like it was part of the marketing to make it more relevant or something. But at the end of the day, it's so far the first two seasons are passable with great moments in it, but I wouldn't call them classics. I got two more seasons
Yeah.
to go. That could change, and it could turn into like the second half of the series could be amazing. But right now, my hopes aren't too high for it.
Yeah, I had the same feeling pretty much as you on that.
Yeah,
I actually even forgot almost completely about it. That's how like
yeah,
mediocre it was. Like it was watchable, but ultimately, man, just kind of forgettable.
yeah, yeah, and that's the biggest sin is to be boring and forgettable. It's just no no one cares and it just kind of fades away.
So,
So, moving on from that, we're gonna start getting to to me the good stuff I saw this weekend, or this week. Chucky, uh, episode 2 was
yeah.
out. And surprisingly, I don't know if they're doing it for the whole season, but episode 2 is streaming as well on the USA Network YouTube channel and on Sci-Fi YouTube
Hmm.
channel as well. Picking up where we left off, this episode is not as strong as the first one, but
No.
um, I think they've pretty much at this point confirmed that this is part of the main storyline of all the movies, and I mean
Yeah.
all of them. He
Yeah.
has this,
They referenced a bunch of stuff. Yep.
yeah, the references. I'm like, oh shit, this is like legit, like canon. I'm really excited about that. Um,
They're
I
like, we
do
don't
like,
need to make a shared universe. He already has
yeah,
a freaking universe.
yeah.
He has so much history already.
He's got a lot of history, and it is funny. Some of it, but some of it's funny as shit. Um,
Dude,
and
why do people get so obsessed about making something centered around teen characters who have daily problems? Like, it happens with everything, with Scream, with Child Play. I mean, with Chucky.
yeah,
Like, why are you guys so obsessed with giving me these teenager stories around this? Like, uh, it just gets tiring. But I mean, they're not as bad as they could be in this. Like, I am
no,
enjoying the
yeah,
show, but
yeah.
still, it's kind of like again with this. It's either like
It's
a band of little punk cool kids, kind of like Goonies or Stranger Things, or it's these annoying teens that you want to see murdered.
yeah.
I don't know.
It's actually, I think it has to do with the way that they look, and I say that because a lot of the stuff that we used to like like if you look back at like Friday the 13th, the Scream movies, like these people are supposed to be in high school, but they look 30, 35.
Yeah.
And so it's like you forget that
Reminds
it's
me of
supposed
Bad
to take
Boys.
place. Yeah, and you forget like how old these people are. But nowadays they look like what they're supposed to, and they're a lot more annoying for it.
Oh, okay, yeah. You'll
you,
get like
you know what I'm saying?
like Toby playing like a high school kid
Yeah.
like that.
Uh, yeah, it's like he's not, and we can kind of suspend our disbelief because okay, well, whatever. But like in this one, they look like they're actually like their actual ages they're supposed to be,
Yeah,
and then making it more relevant. Where like
right.
again, TikTok and being like oh, gotta talk about feelings and bullying, and I'm like
Yeah,
yeah, well, that's fine, but it's annoying because
it is.
again, I don't like again, I guess I'm getting older because the young people, them young whippersnappers,
I can understand
um,
you. Damn kid.
Yeah, they're fucking weird. So
Stop
I think
talking like that. Stop posting. I'm old.
yeah, yeah. I don't know who. Um, yeah, and I think that's a big part of it because again, like, how think how I know what you did last summer starts Jennifer Love Hewitt again in supposed to be I think in high school. She's a grown ass
Like
woman. She looks like
25.
grown,
Yeah,
and
27.
it's like I don't see a teenager, I don't see a child, I see a grown ass woman. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
different. Like she may like let's say the actor might be 20, 22, but she looks 15, 16. I'm like I don't know, it's weird. Like
These
because
kids are
now it's
playing
like
look like kids. Yeah.
yeah, and it's like I don't connect with kids anymore. I didn't really when I was a kid myself, but
I will
um
say their performances are good though.
very good. Yeah.
Like not the content itself because I find it a little bit annoying, but that's not their fault. So the acting job I thought was not bad, and despite all these complaints, the show is actually kind of good, kind of
Oh
interesting.
no, yeah, it is really good.
Surprised,
Uh,
very surprised.
yeah. Again, like it's not unusual for the second episode not to be as good as the first one because the first one has to reel you in. But I
Yeah,
do like that building towards something. They're trying to give these characters more reasons for us to either want them dead or not want them to die. Because
even
then,
Chucky is
because
like more dimensions.
yes, he is great in this one.
It's
Um,
like, whoa, okay. He doesn't just want to kill for no reason. Like it's like there's a little more scheming, or I don't know. There's something else
Yes.
there.
Yeah, and yeah, like if you know anything about Chucky, he's a schemer. He loves to play like the long con.
Yeah,
Um and he is more scary in this one. There's just something about the
yeah.
way that the doll look. It just he looks menacing, like ugh, creepy.
And his first like time he laughs, I was just like, oh.
It's I
I was
love it.
terrified of him, dude. He was like my worst fear as a kid. Like seriously, like there was nothing scarier for me.
Yeah.
I think one day I was being really bad, and my mom was like, "If you don't stop, I'm gonna get Chucky from the attic." And she said she's never seen me break down and cry so badly from something. She was immediately like, "I'm so sorry. I'm just kidding. It's not real." I was like, "Are you sure? Are you sure it's not real?" I was like, so I was so scared. So I was like, yeah, like, and then there was like a Pinocchio evil movie, and I saw it one late night, like by myself when I was a small
Yeah.
kid, and that one screwed me up too. And I was like, God, you little bastard dolls, like, um,
Yeah. That was weird. Yeah.
with that laugh,
Yeah.
yeah. I think maybe that's what freaked me out as a kid, man, because that laugh is something
It's great.
so like
Very,
joyful.
yes.
It's like no, this thing is evil. Like that's evil. Like that person enjoys killing. You
Yes,
know,
he
scary.
does. Um, and that's kind of what like I think that was the best part is Chucky, but the ending of this episode kind of I I won't say predicted, but like I had a thought of where they could go with the show, and at the end of this one, I'm like, that's exactly what I thought this show could do.
Hmm.
And I like because again, you don't know what Chucky's up to. You don't know what he's trying. You kind of know because if you've seen the movies, but like usually he's a lot more straightforward about it. This one,
Yeah.
he's approaching it differently, and I really enjoy that. It's
He's
kind
like,
of like the bad angel or the devil on your shoulder going like, yeah, you can take the candy, you can push your grandma down the stairs, you can stab the man next
like
door, no problem.
fair bit. Come on.
Yeah.
Like
So,
damn. Okay.
yeah, like this has surprisingly been really good so far. I hope they keep it up. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So if you guys aren't watching it, check it out. Again, you have a number of ways to watch it. It's probably streaming on demand. It's on YouTube. If you have the Sci-Fi app, you have the USA app, whatever it is, you can probably watch it on there. You have multiple ways of watching it, so go out of your way and do it. It's a very fun show, very good. Even though our weird complaints are more nitpicks and like weird self issues with things, or not self issues, but things that kind of irk us. It's still a really good show. Check it out for sure. So
Yeah, it's worth it. It's good.
very much worth it. And then moving on to my favorite thing that I saw this week. It's another Netflix original. I don't know if they funded it or bought the streaming rights, but it's a Korean movie, I believe, called #Alive. It's about
Yeah.
uh, a young man who wakes up one day, starts playing his video games, just does his normal routine, and then the zombie apocalypse happens, and he gets trapped in his apartment, and he has to find ways to survive. And
Right.
and I like it because it's a nice progression where it's like, oh, day one, okay, cool. Day two, okay, day three, and it's like, oh, food's starting to run out, the power's out, radio stations are down, and now he has to be. And now every time it rains, he has to put out pots to collect water, and he has to go like to another apartment to find food, and it's him
Yep.
trying to survive and trying not to off himself because everyone he thinks that he loves is pretty much dead and gone, and he's surrounded by dead people all day long. And when the actual zombie stuff starts happening, it's really fun. The zombies are really
Yeah.
cool in this. Um, I don't know the budget, but it looks good. It actually
Mhm.
looks really good. There's only so many locations. I think overall, like a hallway, a couple apartments, the outside street level,
Yeah.
and a
Even
roof.
then, it's just like a parking lot. Right.
Yeah, even that. Yeah, and it's really fun. It's well paced. I like the two lead actors in this. I thought they were really good
Yeah.
together. Um,
Good.
the action with the zombies when they actually start, like I said, because in these type of movies you got to have the zombie action, is done really well and it's very cool. And
Oh yeah.
it's one of those zombie infections where it only takes a couple minutes, maybe even a couple seconds to actually like kick in. So if you're bit, you're screwed. It's over.
Hmm.
Um, the only little downside I had, like every zombie story, you get to have the humans are the real threat, or humans do evil things when in time of crisis, and they have that scene in here. It's a good scene. It's very cool the way they build it up, but it's just like, oh, I get it. We're bad. I understand. Thank you. Move on.
Yeah, I know, right?
You know, like
That reminded me. I know.
yeah. No, and to be honest with you, I won't say that it doesn't happen if it ever does, but I think there'll be more good than bad, I think, just because um,
What?
people want security and they want to be together. They don't want to, fuck it, let's just burn the world down. Some do,
Oh
don't get me
yeah.
wrong.
Yeah.
It just, it's
Um.
always, every one of these movies always has to have that scene. But,
Yeah.
uh,
This was
hey,
fun. It was a good one. I was surprised.
yeah. Yeah, I was surprised too. Again, I was looking through Netflix, seeing what they had, and I started watching trailers. I'm like, you know what? I haven't seen a good zombie movie since like Train to Busan. So
Yeah.
I'm like,
Probably
oh,
the
check
last
it
good one.
out. And yeah, I'm like, you know what? This is good too. I won't say on that level of Busan because that is
What about Army of the Dead?
transcendent. Army of the Dead is up there, but for different reasons again. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
Train to Busan was great action, but it was emotional. It was actually like a great story. It was like a perfect little movie. Army of the Dead is a fun splatter film that I just want to watch again just for the action because there's not much to it but that. And this one, #Alive, falls in the middle of like it's a good story, good action, but it doesn't lean either way where it's like, okay, you're just a pure pulpy film or like you're like you need an Oscar type of film. It's really good for what it is. It does it very well. It's balanced out pretty well, well paced. Um,
Yeah.
and I think that's all the good things I could say. Yeah, check it
It's
out. Yeah,
good, actually.
yeah, it was very good. I was very surprised. Um, if you are looking for something a little different, like again, it's a zombie movie, but if you're looking for like a different zombie movie from a different country, check this out. It is on Netflix. I believe it's automatically dubbed as well, and the dub is actually good as well, so it's not bad.
It-
So check it out. Hashtag alive.
yeah.
And I think let me make sure. Did I do anything else? No, nothing of note. Um, that's my nerd outs. So let's go ahead and go into our main topic.
Okay.
As some of you may or may not be aware, Dune has come out. Came out a day early on HBO Max, and you can watch it in theaters as well. And we'll be talking about that. So for first half of this talk will be non-spoilers. We'll just kind of talk about the movie in general as much as possible, and then we'll get into spoiler talks later. So, Dune is based off a book by Robert Hubbard. Hubbard, I believe is I'm saying it correctly. Um, it's a very dense, very complicated book. I think he
Hmm.
had to write an encyclopedia for the book so you can actually understand the history. I'm not even kidding. He
Dang.
wrote an encyclopedia for the book because there's so much history and lore. Because I think uh, Hubbard did like 6 years of research before he actually started to write the book itself.
Jesus.
So
When was
it's
this
very
written?
dense.
Remember?
Oh, I think like in the 60s.
Oh yeah.
Uh, yeah, 60s or 70s. It's been a while because the one of the main bad guys is called Vladimir, and it doesn't tell you what era the book was written. It probably does now. Might be from the 50s. Um,
Yeah.
and I think overall they did really well. Um,
Yeah.
right, right off the bat, I enjoyed this movie a lot. Um, I don't think it'll be every person's cup of tea,
No.
but
As I found
I
out,
think
Cole gave up on me after 20 minutes. She's like, this is
yeah.
too hardcore for me, man. She's like, I can't do this right now. Yeah, she noped out, and I was like, no, I still want to watch it, man. I liked it.
Yeah.
I just liked it. Yeah, I had cut you off. I was just thinking
Oh, go
that
ahead.
not the whole time, but like through a lot of it, I was like, if they can do this, they can do a Warhammer movie. Let Denis Villeneuve do this.
Mm,
Let him do one, because he could do
that's
it, man.
that's funny.
Somebody has
Um,
to do it someday.
someday,
Please
someday.
do it.
So,
But I was
let
like,
me.
dude, it's like it's so dense. Like this world that they have is very, very, very dense
Yeah,
and
I will.
really fleshed out. You know.
Yeah, in the spoilers talks, I'll talk about some stuff that I learned that makes the movie, I won't say makes sense, but gives more weight to it. I'm like, oh, that makes sense now. Or like, oh, now I know why this is important. But let me try to summarize the movie as quick as possible without spoilers. Um,
Yeah.
a a house, a very wealthy house, or a family, um, are called to the aid of the emperor to go to a planet called Arrakis, where they
Hmm.
must bring peace to this planet because this planet is the only place that makes spice, which is the main source of power, the only source of power that allows like light speed travel from like galaxy to like planet to planet. So um,
Yeah.
uh, some some tomfoolery happens, and that's where the story takes place. Um, off the bat, this movie is gorgeous. It's
Oh yeah.
absolutely beautiful.
Oh
Some
yeah.
like there's not too many space shots, but when you see them, it's gorgeous. It's like looking at a painting.
Yep.
Um, the
All the effects blend really well into what's going on. It doesn't look
yeah,
like it doesn't belong.
yeah, and the sets are gorgeous as well. Again, like there's so much
Yeah.
detail in things,
Costumes.
uh,
Great.
costumes, everything.
Yep. Got got it going on.
Yes, yeah. Um, I think this, if you really love like Blade Runner 1 and 2, you definitely have to check this out. If you like these oh, I don't want to say hard sci-fi because it's not hard sci-fi, but this um
Like what?
more realistic take, I guess, or more nuanced take on sci-fi.
Yeah.
This is up your alley.
What makes
Like
something hard sci-fi? Like what would qualify it as hard sci-fi?
um
Like
hard
what does
sci
that even
so
mean? I
so
thought this
hard
was hard
sci-fi.
because it's so freaking realized that it's like, you know what I mean?
Right. So hard sci-fi bases itself in some kind of truth in what's actually going on now,
Oh,
or like potential technology that is in the works, but maybe more on a grandiose scale, or like our more realized scale of what they want. Something like Star Wars is not hard
right.
sci-fi because how do you make a laser stop at a certain point without just continuing to go on and on, or
Okay.
like, or be able to like you can't talk in space, you'll die, all
So
this
it
kind
has
of stuff.
some basis in like this could eventually happen, or like there's science that could lead to us believing that this could happen, or
Correct. Yeah.
right?
So
Okay.
like
Oh,
it's
I
based
get
off.
you now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like Ex Machina is like it's hard sci-fi because those are actual methods that they're trying to make AI from. Like there's like again, it's more of a little more fantastic version of it, but there are
Yeah.
actual like processes in the works of trying to get to that point. So it's more based in like reality than like sorcerers in space, I
Okay.
guess.
Yeah.
And Dune probably falls more in the line of like Game of Thrones. This is very
Yeah.
political story.
Right.
There's a lot of talks of like houses and families and this and that, and like we have to please these people, and we have to make treaties with this people if we want to survive. Which I think really works well. Um, the I don't want to say downside, but I get why they did it, but there's so many big name actors in here that really
Yeah.
don't get anything to do. Like they're in
Yeah.
there, they have like maybe a memorable scene or they have a good dialogue, but then they're gone. That's it. Like you never see them again.
Batista
uh,
and
yeah, and
yeah.
then and then there's characters that won't make an impact more until like later on, possibly like Batista's character, I believe his name the Beast
Yeah.
in the book. He does next to nothing in here, but he has potential. I haven't read the sequels and all that kind of stuff, but I think he plays more of a part later on.
Yeah.
So and we got Josh Brolin doesn't have a lot of scenes memorable as a character because it's Josh Brolin, but
Yeah.
don't expect him to see him anytime soon. um,
Yeah.
uh, and
I mean, in the overall narrative, he's not that important.
yeah, he's not that important.
You know.
Again, you put a big name there, but it's not an important role.
Right.
Um, and again, I get it because for marketing purposes, you want to try to
Yeah.
get
He
that there.
elevates a role like that, and yeah, he
Yeah.
gets.
So
Oh, look, we have 10 big names that you've all heard.
right.
You know. And
Um,
that's what you need though to make it successful, because otherwise they're not gonna be able to tell the rest of the story.
yeah. So like it's a
Not
love
a
hate
really a
relationship.
knock. It's just yeah, I see what you're
No,
saying though.
right. It's
Yeah.
just like I hate when that happens, but I'm also
Yep.
glad because that more or they might bring in a couple more people to watch it.
Yeah.
Um, you have to pay attention when watching this movie. You really have to pay attention because a
Oh
lot of
yeah.
stuff happens, and you're gonna catch names or say things, and a lot of stuff it's implied on what's going on. But if you're not listening or not paying attention, you're gonna be lost real fast.
Yeah.
Uh,
No, no, yeah. I had to rewind several times where even I was paying attention and I was still like, wait, what? And I like rewinding like a couple times. I'm like, wait, okay. And then like after certain scenes, I would kind of like dumb it down in my head where, oh, okay, he has been given some kind of new responsibility and that's what they're talking about. Okay. Then
yeah.
I'll keep going. It's like, It's kind of like that, or it's kind of it's a lot.
It's a lot because
I
this
mean,
movie.
it's everything.
Oh no, it is very interesting, and like this movie has to move at a pace where it can't dumb down anything for you. It has to keep going because it's 2 hours and 33 minutes, and
Didn't
honestly,
feel like it. I don't know.
yeah, it didn't feel like it, but I think they could have easily got another
Dude,
35 minutes, and it would probably just barely make sense still.
I think so because it's just like you're saying, it's very dense material, and
Very dense.
I don't know. I almost feel like they could have called it part one, and I wouldn't have been annoyed by it because I mean, it's so much. Uh,
Well, and it is funny because it is actually titled Dune Part One, which is funny.
oh, I haven't seen that anywhere.
Yeah. It was in the title scene. It was like Dune Part One, and like
Okay.
it's in white, but it's like Part One, and it's like what? You should
Not
let me know that it's Part
closer.
One.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I would even say they could have had 5 hours, and they still would have had enough. The only
Yeah.
thing, like, this would have been a great TV show, but you could never, you can't tie up all those actors for that long.
No.
You know,
And the
those names
budget
like that for years and
insane.
years.
Yeah, that budget would be crazy big.
Yeah, that too.
Um,
Expense that it would cost to make that.
yeah, it would be
It's just a
a
totally
feat no
different
one.
level to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Um,
Were you a fan of Dune before this movie?
no,
I wasn't either.
I dipped my toe a little bit in the lore and stuff like that, but I wasn't really um, aware of Dune's like history and all that kind of stuff, or like how big
Yeah.
like the world actually is. I recently just started like looking into it more, and that's when the spoiler talks come in. I'll bring up a couple things, but um, ooh, yeah, this movie. Again, it has some action scenes. Don't expect like a long 30-minute fight or an hour, not like 45-minute fight. When there is action, it's over pretty quickly. This is definitely more of a character-driven story, and I think for the most part, it does it pretty well. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, again, overall, I will say overall, it's good. It's very good. If it sounds like something up your alley, you have to watch it. And if you can, please go watch it in IMAX on the biggest screen you can at a brand new theater with like a great screen, good
Yeah.
bulb behind and everything. Because
You need the sound
this,
too.
yeah, you need the sound, you need everything. Because this is meant to be seen on the big screen. I had plans Friday, so I didn't get to go to the theaters. I had to watch it on HBO Max. But
Right.
if it wasn't for the podcast, I would have gone this morning and watched it in the big screen. But for talk about it, I had to watch it on streaming.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, man, it's gorgeous
Pretty
movie,
epic. Pretty cool.
very very epic.
It's
Good
very
acting.
interesting. Like it makes you want to know more and everything. And it's hard to do now because I don't know. It's not easy to pull somebody into a world and make them care.
Yeah, it like if people go like, oh, I'm bored in the first 10 minutes, you lost them, and you won't get them back, no matter how good it is. And
I say you do need
that's
a little
important.
patience though with this movie. Like you can't
Yes.
expect it to be very action oriented, even though there is a lot of action and it's all well done. But you
Yeah.
do need to be a little patient.
Yes. Be patient.
Yeah.
It again, like with the movie, so different. Where TV, you can come in and out as you please. If you sat through Game of Thrones, specifically the first like 3 seasons, for even the first 2 seasons, have patience, watch this, and you'll get something out of it. Um, I think it can fit that niche of like, oh, I need more Game of Thrones type of stuff.
Hmm.
This is, before Game of Thrones took a shit in the bed. This should be able to help you out with that because this is, yeah, this is really good. Again, a couple of faults, but it's not really it's no one's fault for for this movie. The book was never meant to be a movie. It was always meant to stay a novel. So trying to fit all that into like a movie, I think they did great here. I
Oh yeah,
think they did the best that they could, and anyone could, and it's great for it.
yeah.
So, um, I guess now we'll kind of we'll give our last thoughts, like our I guess our initial ratings, I guess, and then we'll get into spoiler talks. Um,
Yeah.
I'm gonna give this a 7.5. Um, Again, it's a gorgeous film. I enjoyed it. Good acting. Pacing is a slight issue, but I was never bored, or I was never sitting there like, okay, well, what's the next thing coming up? What's gonna happen next?
Yeah.
It kept me entertained. I was very intrigued. I wanted to learn more.
Hmm.
For better or for worse. I was like, well, I need more now. So
You said 7.5.
yeah.
Yeah, I want to give it more, but there was some stuff that I didn't really agree with how they executed it, and
Mhm.
um, there's nothing wrong with the pace. There's nothing wrong with the movie, but it didn't like floor me where I would give it a 9 or something
Right.
like that. And it's not the visuals. It's hard to describe really because everything is so high quality, and we need
Hmm.
more stuff like this, especially in the sci-fi realm.
Oh yeah.
Uh, so I hate to give it a not that high of a score. I think probably agree with you, 7 or 7.5 maybe. Um, there were certain things that like if you miss it, then you're kind of screwed, and you're like, well, that's too bad for you if you didn't catch it. And it's like it's so quick that it's literally 1 second, and sometimes you can't even hear it. There was a couple lines I caught on subtitles
Hmm.
that I couldn't audibly hear or I couldn't even understand. There was something where the son said something to the mother, and it was like a very fast line, but a very important thing to say, and there was no way I could have made that out without subtitles, in my opinion, unless I had like
Hmm.
headphones really surrounding my head.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, 7.75, and it sounds low, but it's good. It's really good.
Yes. Yeah.
Definitely worth it. It's like one of those things where like if somebody gave you half of a really good movie and they're like, now wait 2 years or 4 years for the rest to, you know,
Yeah.
it's like not really fair to the movie because it's not done. That's not all. That's just like that character says this is just the beginning or whatever.
Hmm.
So, you know, like that. So it's
Yeah.
hard to give it a it's hard to knock it too much, but at the same time it's like I can't really give it a 9 for that.
Right. No. Yeah. Again, like highs of praises, but at the same time, this is not the full thing, and we have more to come. But hopefully, there's
Yeah.
more to come. But
Yeah.
yeah, for what there is and what they managed to do
Yeah.
with the little amount of time they had, it's fantastic.
This
Um,
must have been such a beast to try and attempt.
yeah.
Like
Oh
I have
yeah.
no idea. I'm sure compared to the book readers, I'm sure they know. But man, trying to create this, bring it to life, like got to
Yeah.
be really insanely difficult.
Yeah.
And you got to keep
Um,
everyone happy. I mean, you got to make the book readers and fans happy. You have to bring in new people. You have to explain it. You know, you have to make it have mass appeal as well, and yeah, so that you can
yeah.
keep going. It's tough,
Yeah.
dude. Can't can't
Because
imagine.
I I think I think the fan base is big, but like in the grand scheme of nerdism,
Pretty small.
Dune is small. But you want to talk about like rabid, devoted fans. I know even over Star Trek, even over Star Wars, even over Lord of the Rings, Dune people take it. They are they are the most passionate people about this, like their niche market. They're fucking passionate. I've never seen it before in my life. It's amazing.
It's usually
And
like the smaller it is, or less off the radar it is, the more rabid they are. Like look
yeah,
at Legion. I
fucking
mean,
nut bags.
that's
Yeah.
rabid, dude.
Hmm.
Like people just will will buy $300 worth of stuff on a drop of a hat.
You said
They
300.
they won't even blink.
Like $5,000.
Yeah, like on a Tuesday, they'll be like, "Oh, look, something appeared. It's for sale. Yeah, sure, $300. Damn,
Yep.
the hell, man." And it's
Oh,
like I'm sure it's like that with Dune, where they're like so passionate about it.
yeah. So,
They've been waiting
um,
for what, 20, 30 years or something?
I think
More?
since the
30?
TV show came out, maybe. It was a long time ago. I won't say that long, but like 80s maybe, since like the Doom movie, the original one came out, and then like the failed TV show. It's been a while. But let's get into spoilers. If you don't want to listen to spoilers, or you haven't watched caught up on Dune yet, jump off, come back later, or if not, we'll catch you next week on another episode of Three Nerds. So we'll give you a couple seconds, and then I'm gonna nerd out about the Dune people being nerds. So if you want to stick for that conversation, you're more than willing. Yep. Okay. So, I am there's this woman, person that I follow on YouTube. She is a huge Dune nerd, and she actually about 2017 she did a book club for the first book of Dune, and kind of explained the history of Dune and all that kind of stuff. So I learned some stuff about the Dune world that now makes sense why certain things are in the movie. So again, I'll start throwing out stuff at you. In the movie, if you tell, a lot of their technology is very simple. There's people with like almost like magical powers, or people who are really, really smart at what they do, and their army fights with swords.
Right. I was kind of wondering about that. I'm like, why are these guys just all using swords?
Well, I'll tell you right now. About in Dune World, I think like hundreds of thousands of years ago, humanity at one point decided, you know what, AI, smart robots, are making us devolve as human beings. So they actually, I forgot what it's called, but they basically had a genocide of all AI stuff. So any technology that made our life easier is gone. They destroyed
Because you don't see them using data pads and all that kind of stuff.
And so through that, humans were forced to learn how to be smarter at things that technology made us do. So when you see them navigating a ship, someone has to learn the routes of an entire galaxy, of how to get there. They have to learn, like they have to take up all this information.
Be an actual navigator.
Yeah. And then like I forgot again, names, don't even try to ask me about names. It's the head of security for the House of the Atreides. Yeah, like if you notice, like whenever he asked him a question, his eyes would go white.
Right.
Essentially, he is a Excel, a calculator, a super like a computer Google, all wrapped into one. He has to his memory is and mind is so trained, he can calculate in his head without using technology. Because like when he asked that question, how much money do you think that they spent to get from their planet here, he's like, they spend this much exactly. He's like, Jesus.
Yeah.
The doctors they go to a special school where they have to learn how to figure out healing and learn how to heal people by touch and feel and just like knowledge and know-how, instead of like like a robot.
That's why when they checked his heartbeat, right? She was like, check his vitals.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That's all making sense, man. Like if you didn't know that, I mean, it's subtle enough in the movie where you're like, like this is the future, but it's not the future. You know what I mean?
And then like they're
but it was out of fear of being killed by AI. Why?
Not necessarily fear of getting killed, but more like
it
was making, because it was making humans, to dumb it way down. Basically, AI is making us, like, technology is making us stupid.
Right.
It's making us weak.
Like,
we're
I don't
not
know how to hunt my food. All I know how to do is push the button on my phone that says hamburger and push
Yeah.
credit card pay,
Yeah.
and then it
Right.
appears. I don't have to
Yeah.
hunt the damn animal and kill it and skin it.
Right.
Okay.
And then
So it was like
then
their way of evolving the race to a higher level.
yeah. Yeah.
You
And
have
then
highly trained fighters, and you have specialized people.
if you don't pay attention, or if you notice, there's no places in a room where you see someone that has like a light switch for something, because again, like they're so, I don't want to say technology phobic, but they want to make it blend into the surroundings as much as possible, where it feels like natural. Paul, the main character that we follow in Dune, if you look in his room, there's like a big panel by his bed that has like wood engravings of like water and fish and all that kind of stuff. Everything to control his room is on that board. So if you want the lights on, you hit a fish. You want to like dim the lights, you like hit the wave, and like instead of like having a big button that says turn on, turn off,
Yeah,
they
a big red button.
made it, yeah, they made it like tie into their whole world. And so now it blends in, instead of like, hey, technology is important. It's like, hey, technology is just something that we have to use because we have to use it.
Like, I need
So
light, but I don't need to just like speak out loud and say, "Turn the light on, Siri."
right.
Siri, shut up! Don't
So
talk to me.
yeah.
I get you. Yeah, that makes sense. I love how fully realized and thought out this whole thing is, and that's obviously a testament to the author
Yeah.
who spent God knows how much time trying to create this. What's hard is
And
that
then
you don't get to appreciate that because you might not pick up on it, and it's there. It's definitely there, but
right.
you know,
And like even the way that like the Imperium, so the characters will say the Imperium, basically the Imperium means the known galaxy, and that's where all these families and places live. So from what I understand, and what I piece together, the way it works is you have an emperor and then you have like houses. So if you think back in like feudal Japan, you had the emperor, but then you had like shoguns who like controlled their own little territories, but whenever the emperor called to aid, they would come together and fight for the emperor. And this kind of way it is, because to go more into the history and again like make more sense. Because at first I was like, so in Dune in the movie, the emperor forces the again these names
the Batista people.
yeah,
The
the people. I
Heckentorps.
I was gonna say Helgans, but yeah.
No, I suck. We don't know this world yet, so we're
Yeah.
still learning.
So like it made no sense to me why they pulled them out just to pull the
Right.
House of Atreides just to turn around and kill him. It didn't make any sense, but it does make sense now.
I guess that was the
So
easiest way to get them there and to not have them suspect, I guess.
so this is why the Emperor feared House of Atreides, because the leader of House of Atreides had so much respect from all the other houses that if he ever decided to um, cause a coup against the emperor, he could make it happen. So how do you make someone not care if someone dies? Um, they came up with this again, like the plan in the movie is not really explained, but in the books it is realized. So the emperor goes, we have to destroy the reputation of the House of the Atreides. So if we make them run the spice fields, but if they can't produce the spice in time, that causes so many people to lose like trillions of dollars.
Oh
At
yeah.
the end of the day, it doesn't matter if they like you. If you mess with their money and something happens to you, they're not gonna be like, well, we gotta fight back. It's like, well, you got it. You
They're like,
died
look,
because
we couldn't
you
get our
messed.
fuel, we couldn't do
Correct.
this, couldn't do
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
You fucking with my money and you're dead, I'm happy because now I get now again. So
Like,
when
yeah.
so when that happened, the emperor made a deal with the bad people, the Batista people.
Yeah,
um,
the people.
and then the emperor actually lends out part of his personal army to help out to
Yeah,
beat
the white guards or
the
whatever they were.
the the Scarians or Skagarans.
Yeah, the car
Ye-
guards. I don't know.
yeah, like these guys are like the fiercest of the fiercest warriors in the world, in the galaxy.
Yeah,
Because again, more history for you. No one knows where they come from. No one knows where their home planet is. It's their the history is such a mystery. But the leader of House of Atreides believes that that their home planet is on a prison planet where like it's always raining, it's always cold, the conditions are terrible. There's
yeah.
hardly any food, and that's where you
So
find
only the
these
best
great
of the best are there.
because they grew up fighting, like they had no choice but to fight.
Yeah,
So when
they're like
so
Spartans almost.
so exactly. So when House of Atreides went to the Arrakis, the Sand People, we'll call them, because again they have names, but it's like the Fagarans or Ferrarans or something like that.
The
Um,
Fremens or
yeah,
maybe
Furmans,
Furman.
something like that.
Yeah,
They
sorry,
grew
Dune
up.
fans.
Yeah,
We're trying.
yeah, I'm trying my best here. They're they grow up in such an environment that's so hostile. They're equal, if not better, to those guys
Yeah,
because
and they have
they're
better different tactics, I guess.
yes.
Like
So
when they
like
use sand to distort them, and then they kick their ass. And
yeah, so it's this world is so dense, it's so realized.
yeah,
It
man,
like it like it,
they
like
thought it
not,
out.
it built yeah, it built off of our own history and changed things to a point where it's like, wow, this is fucking incredible.
I love the
Um,
ideas, man. Like the AI thing, I like that. How they just want to better themselves, and interesting stuff.
yeah, and again, due to the lack of technology to help us, people have become so I guess they unlock something in the brain again where like some people can kind of see into the future. Like Paul is being trained as this uh again name. So sorry, dude fans.
Yep.
The woman in black that like has their
Yeah.
box of like paint, like
The
they
main witch.
like the whole yeah like the whole idea of like you have to fight in order to be a human you have to fight the urges of a human to be considered worthy enough,
Okay.
and that's such a cool concept where it's
Yeah.
like I mean like if you like you cannot be a human if you cannot control your urges, then you're no better than an animal, and it's the
Right.
most basic for humans that we probably a lot of us can't do on a daily basis. Like if we want something sweet or alcohol or we want something stupid that's bad for us, we're gonna do it because fuck it, whatever. But to be able to control yourself makes you like different from everyone else, and like that kind of stuff, like the way that it plays into the story and everything is really cool. Again, we
Yeah.
don't get to learn much about that order of how they work because that order is all um, female only.
Yeah.
There's no men. It's all female. They're very tactical. They play the long game where like they want you to underestimate them. So when they screw you over, it's like I told you it was gonna happen. You didn't believe
Yep.
me.
Well,
So
they
sorry.
said,
And
our plans are hundreds of years, not just what,
yeah,
And
again,
then,
let that.
yeah, the trial thing I think is interesting because they want to make sure anybody who can wield this kind of power is not just a reckless, wild animal,
Sure.
basically,
Yeah, pretty much. It's like you can't have this power
especially
if you
him
can't.
being like a half breed male and, all that. They're probably
Yeah.
even more worried. I'm surprised they didn't just kill him. Like, yeah,
Well,
no, I'm not doing
yeah. Yeah, this book is very. There's so much information. I learned a lot from watching.
this. I could tell.
I believe her handle is Comic Book Girl 19. She did a book club with the first book, and I think I've only reached up to almost the first third or the first half of book one, and the movie probably only goes up to covers half of the book. So
Yeah,
we got more.
that's what they're.
There's a lot more stuff. Yeah. So
I mean, I
um,
wonder, like, going forward, Paul, he wants to stay in the desert world. I wonder if we're gonna learn more about the Emperor side. Like, well, I guess you pretty much already explained that he was worried that that house could potentially rally the rest of the houses to overthrow him, and that's why he did what he did. But obviously, they're still being hunted, so that part is not over as far as being hunted. And what is, I guess, this planet is so important, and he is also important. So those two things will come to a head at some point because ultimately they want somebody's always going to want control of that planet, and
yep.
he now considers himself part of the desert with the
Mhm.
people and everything. So he will always fight against that, and it's kind of like what is going to kind of occur there.
Yeah. And again, I have I vaguely know what happens in the next books, but like holy shit, it gets fucking weird. I mean, in a good way, but it gets weird and it gets even more dense.
I mean, it was weird already.
It's great. And knowing that stuff, just a little bit of stuff I told you, to me, it made the movie even better. Um,
Right.
Unfortunately, you have to go out of your way to learn this stuff and increase that enjoyment of it and all that kind of stuff. Because again, like that 7.5, it stands where it is. I can't change it because now I know more. Because I can't
Right.
ask a moviegoer to go, hey, go out of your way to read this.
Right.
The pages upon pages of a book that is, and it's not a small book. Like think of like
I'm looking
Stephen
at it
King's.
right now.
It's a thick book, and
1,000
then
pages.
yeah, and then if you want to know more, you gotta buy the encyclopedia to learn the history of everything,
Yeah.
because not everything is explained in the book either. Um,
Yeah.
it's it's
Holy cow, I'm looking at it right now. Oh my god, that
yeah,
is ridiculously thick.
it's
Oh my,
a monster.
it's a big book.
Yeah,
Whoa.
it's a big boy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
for that purpose, again, like I can't change my rating at all because again,
It
if you
has,
have to make it better, it's hard to say.
well, yeah, we have to rate it on what we watched, not what's behind it. And
Yeah.
that's only fair as far as that. But it does come with like a asterisk after the score where
Yes.
it's like
Yes.
0.5, but this could be freaking cool. I mean, so far it's amazing. This is
Hmm.
just part one. But I'm looking at the book here, and book one has 4.5 out of 5 stars on Amazon with 36,098 ratings. I don't think I've seen that many damn ratings on a book. I mean, Jesus, people love this.
I I
I wish I could get
think
into it. I mean, it's just too much for me. I know I'll never be able to read it.
oh no, it's a lot, and I think this is the highest selling sci-fi novel of all time. Even
Jesus.
to this day, I think it's still the number one sold in a genre of sci-fi. Um,
It
it
was
is
1965 published.
65. Yeah. So yeah. Um,
I mean, it's
if
impressive what
if
he
you would,
came up with.
yeah, again, like I think, like I said in the first half of the review, he spent 6 years researching things
Hmm.
before he even started to write page one of Dune.
And look at
And
how he predates so many things. Like, this is 65. He's
yeah,
not being influenced by these movies, by
oh
none of the modern movies, none of that. There's
yeah,
probably stuff around his time that, yes, of course, he was probably influenced by, but
sure.
you know, it's
Um,
704 pages. I just looked.
yeah, like if you look at if you look at Star Wars, Star Wars is a more main mainstream style of Dune. If you would
Yep.
break it down.
Thinking
And
of
and I think besides samurai films, I think Spielberg was heavily inspired by Dune in general. Um, Again, I'm not saying that they're ripoffs. There's different versions and takes on things, but like the whole Jedi mind trick, it's in here. It's you know, like it's in
yeah.
there. It just it's not called Jedi mind trick. It's something else. It's called the voice. You know, and
Kind of cool how
um,
can't just, like, if you're not trained, you can't just do it and it works. Like, it's like you have to get it right in certain ways.
mhm.
That was kind of a cool scene how he was trying to get it going.
Yeah, very cool. So this, yeah, again, like this is such an influential book. Once you read it, you'll be like, wow, I understand why we have what we have because Dune kind of like laid that path out for us.
Yeah.
Same as I think was it like John like John of Mars or
John Carter.
John John Carter, yeah. That was like that predated some stuff as well, where like that also influenced people. So when it came out, they're like, "Oh, this is a generic copy of Star Wars or this and that." I'm like, "No, actually, it like predated stuff, but people don't, want to do history search on it." So it's like, well, it's just a generic story. Nah, not when it came out, and this is not a generic story.
Yeah.
Um, it's great, man. If you're willing to put in the work to go out and research it and read it or look or even cliff notes or just learn history of certain things, it will make the experience even better because now you understand a little bit more. If not,
Yeah.
it's still a good movie.
It is.
For all the information that I brought up to that's not in the movie, they still fit in a lot of stuff in there still.
It did.
And it and again, it's rapid fire, but if you pay attention, everything makes sense. So,
Yeah. Well, see,
um,
now that you're saying about the technology stuff, all these scenes started popping in my head. I'm like, oh, that. Oh, yeah, that. Oh, they did that. And it's like, yeah, it's nice that it's subtle, but it's also, it's why some of it gets lowered as far in terms of score because, yeah, it's not laid out there. And it's not fair to them because they have such a task.
right.
It's a very visual, obviously, medium. So
Yeah.
to transfer that, you don't have 700 pages to explain, you
Yeah.
know, all this history or the encyclopedia with all the lore.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I don't fault them or anything, but yeah, I mean, I don't think I've had a movie for a very long time that's made me think this much. Like, um, not necessarily like think introspectively like that way, more like just, ooh, like I would love to know this, I would like to know this, and
Right.
what is that, and more of this, and ooh, okay, all that kind of just it's intriguing enough to where you're like, oh, okay, cool, this is awesome.
Yeah, you're curious to learn more about the world,
And this is
like
just
it.
one planet, man. I mean, it's kind of like the planet for the
Yeah.
galaxy. Like,
Yeah.
this is where they get their oil, basically. This is like,
Yeah. Yeah. Basically. Yeah. Yeah.
but what was with the worm thing at the end where someone called it? He said it was a thumper
Yeah.
type worm because it tries to communicate. I
Uh,
mean, do you know who called it? Like, what did he mean by that? Like, who did that and why? Because all it did was show up and look at him and then leave.
no. So the thumper was used to scare not to scare off the sandworm, but it was there to redirect it because if the worm wanted to, all you had to do was just like lean forward and eat
Yeah.
them, and then they're like, well, let me distract the worm so they can get away easier. The guy who challenged Paul's mom to combat.
Yeah.
He was like, I saved them. They didn't make it on their own. I'm the reason why they're alive. Because if I didn't put the thumper out, the sandworm probably would have just ate your ass. And he was very mad
So
about
the
that.
thumper is like an alpha worm or something like that.
No, so the Thumper, again, the Thumper is just there to either call the worm or to redirect the worm somewhere else. Um,
Um,
think I'm trying to think here.
but they were fine though. Like they were walking through the desert, and then all of a sudden he stomped his foot on the ground, and then it came. Oh, but then
Uh,
you're saying the guy who challenged is the one who called it to begin with?
no, 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 no. He redirected some.
Oh, okay. He's
Yeah.
the reason it
So
stopped.
yeah.
Oh, okay,
Right.
okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I thought, you know what I was thinking is that it somehow realized that Paul is special or something, or there was a
Oh.
psychic link or something like
Oh.
that
Okay.
maybe. And it was like,
Uh,
oh, I shouldn't screw with this little thing. I'm just gonna leave.
No, sandworms are pretty godlike. They get hunted later on in the books, and they actually go extinct at one point. But
Hmm.
they actually come to find out that like spy again I hope I'm getting it right, Dune fans. I'm sorry if I'm not. They come to find out that the worms actually produce the spice. Like like like
Um,
like no worms, no spice.
like it's
Like
almost
whoops, we
like
got
just it's almost like they're dead skin cells for them, almost maybe. I don't know. Like it just
uh,
naturally comes off of them or something, or
something like that. Yeah, it's yeah, because like at a certain point in the book, I think it's a sequel book. Like the
that.
worms extinct and like there's no more spice and they start freaking out because
Oh,
they're like, oh shit, we're all gonna go poor, run.
were
So
they? Did they go? Like I don't know if you know, but did they go extinct because like the emperor got sick of their shit and killed them all?
I someone hunted them down. I think I
How in
don't
the
remember.
hell do you kill one of those things? I don't even know.
A lot of work,
What
a
is
lot of dead
that?
people.
What is that word that they said? Shulagana. He's like they were like I only serve one being.
Yeah.
Shulagana. Are they were they referring to the worms though, right? The like god worms or whatever.
I think so. Because there's a God worm, and then there's actually in one of the books someone actually, well, I think like God, like Paul's son or like God's son actually becomes a God worm king. It's weird, but it's cool. It's weird, very cool.
Wait, so what was with the guy riding one of the worms? That was badass. I was like, wait,
It's
what?
very yeah. Yeah. They
Oh, oh.
it just like again it just kind of like entails of why these Fermian Fermin Fermian people
Um,
are so good as allies because they've learned to live with the harsh
yeah.
environments where they can actually get around by like taking two hammer claws and like just like we're gonna jump on a worm because we got it's like I'm late for work, we gotta go.
Yeah.
Worm, let's go.
They
It's
know how to do everything. Yeah. They're
yeah,
like we
because
know how to walk
they learn.
so they won't follow us. They know how to find all the routes. And the blue eye thing is exposure to spice, they said. It's just
Correct.
got in
Yes.
their eyes and made it blue. But it didn't give them
Long.
any did it give them any like abilities because they've inhaled it and like it's part of them and
No, it's like a psychedelic drug. So
oh yeah, that's
long. So
the
like
thing.
long period exposure to spice. They get those blue eyes because it's just part of who they are. Spice is
They
just in life.
like they don't use it the same way the emperor does though. Like they don't convert
Oh.
it into fuel and stuff. They just hallucinogize it and like worship it basically, right?
Yeah, yeah. Again, this is what the land gives you, so that you make the best of it. Um,
Mm.
because again, Arrakis is the only place where spice is made. There's nowhere else in the
Yeah,
galaxy to make spice.
and
It's
it's
only
because of
here.
the worms. Yeah. Well, I
So
mean, it's like if they wanted to, they could become the most powerful planet and just wipe out everybody, mop the floor with everyone, but they just want to kind of live, and they're more simple. I mean, they don't
yeah,
really have those kind of aspirations.
simple folk just doing simple things.
We just want to live, ride our worms, and smoke our
Yeah,
drugs. It was slow.
yeah. Yeah.
Like, God damn it! What do you idiots just keep coming here? We're not doing anything. We're just riding Johnny the Worm and
uh,
it's cool
yeah,
though.
man.
I'm actually liking it. Yeah, I mean it's interesting, and they actually did convert the book into a graphic novel.
Oh, did they?
Obviously, it's more up my alley because
Sure.
I'm just a dummy, and it actually got very high ratings, almost 5 stars, 1,336 ratings. It looks like it has good art inside of it. There's a really cool worm picture, and people are saying it's good. So I don't know. Maybe one day I'll check it out.
Yeah, might as well. I mean,
So people are saying it's an adaptation. So some people are angry that it's just like a weak adaptation, and those are probably the book purists. So
probably, yeah.
I don't blame them. The book's always
yeah,
gonna be better. It's just so more dense and everything.
yeah, you just get more backstory and everything, and like stuff that you can never film on a movie because no one
Yeah.
wants to see a scene drawn out of like them explaining like, huh, I figured you out and I'm smarter than you for like 20 minutes. It's like, oh, I get it. Okay, we gotta move along. We only have like 2.5 hours.
Yeah. But
No, man, that's Dune. I learned some other stuff. Actually, I learned a lot, but you kind of you I think the viewers at home kind of get a gist of the just pure insanity of like the backstory and lore to
like
Dune.
how thought out this guy did with this stuff.
Yeah, yeah, he did a phenomenal job. Um,
He,
even the book itself is not for everyone. I know people who love who are nerds who love geek stuff and all that kind of stuff, and they find Dune a chore to get through, and they don't get it. So it's not for everyone. But if this even remotely sounds like something you would be vaguely interested in, give it a shot. Read the book or try to read the book by the encyclopedia. Watch the movie, have a good time, and reach out to a Dune fan because I'm pretty sure they would love to teach you everything about Dune.
yeah,
So, uh,
I'm sure they would.
so I think that's it.
Yeah,
I think
cool stuff.
yeah, I think we'll call it there for this episode. Um, well, thank you for listening to another episode of Three Nerds on a Sunday. You can follow us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, all at Three Nerds on a Sunday. Listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and any podcasting app of your choice. Shutter, I love you. One day you will sponsor us. I just know it's going to happen. Um, I had some spice. I saw the future. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. We will catch you next week for another episode. Goodbye.
Thanks. Bye.